Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the WCW Worldwide Series for May 16th, 1992. The main focus here is the Nintendo Challenge Tournament, which is going on, and it's basically a 10-man tournament, number one contender type situation, or some sort of note there, obviously getting sponsors in. Anyway, squash match with the former U.S. Tag Team Champions Valentine and Taylor. Greg Valentine hits a gut wrench suplex, among other things. It keeps things going up pretty aggressively here. Hard shots, and you actually see more of Valentine than you do Taylor in the match, which is weird to me because I think Valentine's pretty much the older guy, but he dominates the majority of the match here. Taylor comes in and helps to get the victory. Then we see more plugs for the Wrestle War process, and Steiner's talk about defending the championships against Anderson and Eaton and anybody else. Rick Steamboat says he wants to get his hands on whomever, including Rick Rude and the rest of the Dangerous Alliance. Also says that he realizes and recognizes that his son, he's had some family issues with how violent wrestling is, and explaining it all to his son. Odd team of Ricky Morton and Dallas Paige versus the Freebirds, Hayes and Garvin. Not exactly the best of all matches here. Dallas Paige obviously doesn't have a great deal of experience at this point, maybe a couple of years under his belt, and he's bouncing around pretty well. Paige takes the majority of the beginning of the match. Match isn't bad, but at the same time it's clunky, and you can see that the Freebirds are getting the focus. They eventually become the U.S. Tag Team Champions around the time, including a win with a DDT by Hayes. Hayes is pretty aggressive there. We see a highlight package review of Rick Rude being the man to take on or to emerge as the leader of the Dangerous Alliance, eventually becoming the U.S. champion. The highlight going all the way back to October of the previous year. Bobby Eaton is out with Paul Heyman, or Paulie Dangerously here. Rematch of Rhodes and Eaton from previous weeks on this very program. Dustin Rhodes is a main combatant for the Dangerous Alliance at the time. Rhodes works over the arm of his opponent over the next several minutes, including sending him back first and arm first into the steel post. Eaton takes almost a flip bump or a hard bump on the apron, back before everyone did apron bumps. Cool deal. Cheating on the outside by Bobby Eaton, giving him an advantage over Rhodes here. Kind of I guess you'd say a leg line choke by Eaton, and we see several minutes of things going by. Leaping lariat by Dustin Rhodes doesn't exactly land the way he wants. 3/4 roll gives him a victory, and things are pretty assertive, aggressive for the time. Rick Rude again reiterates the fact that he's going to defeat anyone he needs to. He is ready for Sting. He's also sick of the conspiracy against the Dangerous Alliance that has been running for a while. Then we go to our main event, Vader and Koloff. Odd to me to see Koloff take the primary loss here, but again, Vader is going to be, pretty involved. We see Dusty Rhodes rather taking Vader or taking Harley Race to the outside because Race tries to interfere. The match itself becomes a brawl around the ring for the first couple of minutes. Vader dominant with his power moves along the way. Vader getting Koloff back in the ring for a moment, actually steps over, mocking Sting with the Scorpion Deathlock. They go back to the outside, and Koloff sends Vader into the steel guardrails, back when they still had guardrails rather than the crazy dasher boards that are there. Vader is pretty aggressive, and ultimately Vader hits a big splash in the corner, and only the ropes are holding up Koloff. Vader does his posing and goes after his opponent pretty assertively, aggressively. Clothesline to the outside by the wonder that is Vader. Race makes his way back out and several splashes after the match is concluded. Vader misses a headbutt into the uh, post on the outside, and the referee basically throws the match out. Match worth going out of your way to see if you've never seen it before. Ultimately, that will close us. We have some eliminations from the Nintendo tournament, and then we see Steve Austin hyping his involvement in the tournament next week. Austin looks so young and so ready to go, but he is talking about being more clean shaven, shorter hair, whatever have you. Ron Simmons and Steve Austin will be at it next week. Simmons says that he's ready for anybody, including to take care of Austin. And that will close us for today. We'll be back with more right after this.